from the Sentrong Alyansa ng mga mamamayan para sa bayan or sambayanan. I am Joy James Aguino, also known as Kaamihan. I am the current National Media Liaison Officer of Sambayanan. Kasama ko rin po si Mr. Ray Christian Sabado, also known as Kanads, one of the members of the National Secretariat also of the Sambayanan organization. So, I will be reading now the official statement of Sambayanan regarding the recent deceptive attacks of the Makabayan Coalition, the Makabayan Bloc, against Quezon City Regional Trial Court Judge Cecilyn Villavert. So our statement is entitled, Makabayan Solons are communist liars, rude to rule of law. The Sentrong Alyansa ng mga mamamayan para sa bayan or sambayanan continues to stand against all forms of deception and lies being systematically spread by the Makabayan Bloc and other legal front organizations of the Communist Party of the Philippines or CPP. The most recent is about the arrest of 7 top CPP cadres of the Metro Manila Regional Party Committee or MMRPC on Thursday, December 10. They have made their usual covers and make-up stories of arrested CPP cadres, claiming anew that they are just activists and union workers organizers. This has become a deceptive script of denial of the Makabayan Bloc. It can be remembered that the arrest of Amanda Etchanis, aka Kawaya, a top cadre of the NPA's West Cagayan Front, has also been condemned by Makabayan Bloc, claiming that the NPA leader Etchanis is just an Anakpawis organizer in Cagayan Valley. The apprehension of Jele Jurayin Ngoho, also known as Kamayo, and Nasria Bansil, also known as Ka-Ash, after an armed skirmish between the 27th Infantry Battalion and the Guerrilla Front 55 at Paquibato District, Davao City, was also condemned by the same communist fronts, claiming that the two are just volunteer teachers of the Mindanao Interfaith Services Foundation Incorporated or MISFI. Ray Christian Sabado, also known as Kanads, another former rebel, was also arrested on October 2, 2019 at Las Navas, Northern Samar. It can also be remembered that Kabataan Party List also claimed that Sabado was just a researcher of the Northern Samar Small Farmers Association. However, the statements of Kabataan Party List were debunked by Sabado himself after admitting that he was indeed a cadre of the NPA Guerrilla Front 2 of the SRC Emporium of Eastern Visayas Regional Party Committee. Sambayanan, as a multi-sectoral organization, primarily composed of former cadres and members of the CPP, NPA, NDF, also its former underground mass organizations and other organizations and groups which reject and condemn violence, terrorism, and armed struggle, has categorically revealed the duplicitous character of Makabayan Bloc as a front organization of the CPP deceitfully participating in the Philippine electoral system. The Filipino people are already cognizant of this grand conspiracy of the CPP and its legal front organizations. We in Sambayanan believe that the arrest of the CPP cadres followed judicial process, and we have high recognition of the judiciary's professionalism and expertise in the issuance of arrest and search warrants. It is of great insolence for the Makabayan Bloc to attack the credibility of the judiciary and to question the determination of probable cause which led to the issuance of warrants by Quezon City Regional Trial Court Judge Cecilyn Burgos Villavert. This is yet an orchestra anew of the Makabayan Bloc to circumvent the law and divert from the matters involving the true identities of the apprehended CPP and PA cadres. Through its underground organization of lawyers, the Lupon ng mga manananggol para sa bayan or Lumaban, an affiliate of the National Democratic Front of the Philippines, the program of the CPP is always to undermine the judicial process of the government. In this light, Sambayanan supports the continuing efforts of the Philippine government in ending communist insurgency. And we also commend Judge Villavert on her will to stand with the rule of law against the lawless CPP-NPA. The recent arrest of top CPP NPA cadres, not just here in Manila, but all over the country, manifest the victory of the Filipino people. They have already rejected the communist program of the CPP NPA. The whole of nation approach has been highly significant and decisive in attaining peace and progress to communist-threatened communities. It has also created stronger unities and convergence amongst all stakeholders towards our goal for a peaceful and progressive Philippines. So that is the official statement of our organization, the Sentrong Alyansa ng mga Mamamayan para sa Bayan. As what we have said, we are an organization primarily composed. Pangunahin pong kinocompose ng mga dating mga kadre at miyembro po ng CPP, NPA, NDF ang aming organization. Kasama na rin yung mga dating masa rin ng NPA na ino-organize namin at saka tinutulungan sa kanilang mga problema, pero hindi na sa paraan ng armadong pakikibaga, kundi yung pakikipagtulungan at pagdulog sa gobyerno sa paraan ng reforma para ma-address yung mga root cause ng armed conflict sa mga bawat communities. And as what we have said earlier, we were really surprised, not really surprised, but parang tinatawanan na namin yung ginagawa ngayon ng Makabayan kasi we were from the Communist Party of the Philippines, and if we were also there that time, ngayon, if nandyan din kami ngayon, we will also do the same. Because it's always a program, it's always the orientation, it's always the doctrine of the Communist Party of the Philippines na atakihin yung judicial process ng gobyerno kapag ito hindi sumasang-ayon sa kanilang mga adhikain at sa kanilang mga interest. So what we have mentioned earlier, we have cited 3 specific examples of experiences on how the Communist Party and its communist fronts are circumventing the law. For example, yung nangyari kay Amanda Echaniz, we had a press conference also 2 weeks ago na pinapalabas ngayon ng Makabayan na si Echaniz, si Amanda, ay isang aktivista lang daw at saka organizer ng Anak Pawis, which in fact, si Ivy Lynn Corpin, si Kared, ay nakasama talaga si Amanda Echaniz sa loob ng NPA West Cagayan Front. Also with yung dalawang teachers na nahuli sa Paquibato District sa Davao City. And of course, in a few while, si Kanad magbibigay din kanyang message about his experience as one of the NPA cadre na naaresto rin sa East Visayas. What we were saying is, lahat to is an orchestration of the Communist Party of the Philippines. Kasi malaki na kasi yung naging sugat ng Communist Party of the Philippines all over the Philippines, no? Dahil kaliwat kanan yung balita na napakarami ng kadre ng NPA, ng CPP ang nahuhuli, namamatay, at yung iba talagang voluntaryong nakikipagtulungan sa government. And with this arrest of 7 top cadres of the Metro Manila Regional Party Committee, this is isang significant talaga na setback, no, sa revolutionary movement here in the National Capital Region. And to add, Mr. Sabado also will give his message.
Isang mapagpalayang araw po sa ating lahat. Ako si Ray Christian Sabado, o mas kilala din sa alias na Kanad sa Northern Samar, na naging kabahagi muna nitong mga legal front organization ng Communist Party of the Philippines and ng New People's Army. Nagsimula ako bilang isang estudyante ng Polytechnic University of the Philippines at naging kaparte ng Anak Bayan, isang legal front organization, at ng Kabataan Party List bago ako nagdesisyon at makumbinse na sumapi sa New People's Army. Katulad nung nabanggit ni Kaamihan, ay hindi nalingid sa kaalaman namin o hindi na bago sa amin yung mga ganitong mga aktibidad o mga ginagawa nitong mga nasa Bayan Block at iba't iba pang mga legal front organizations ito. Tulad nga nung binanggit natin, ay isang example o halimbawa ay yung material na halimbawa ay yung eksperyensya at karanasan ko mismo bilang isang kadre ng Communist Party of the Philippines at ng New People's Army sa Guerrilla Front Committee 2, sa Sub-Regional Committee Emporium at sa Eastern Visayas Regional Party Committee, na kung saan pinalabas pa nila na isa lang daw po akong researcher ng Northern Samar Small Farmers Association at naglabas ng iba't ibang mga suporta at statement yung iba't ibang legal front organizations, katulad na lamang ng Akadamay, ng League of Filipino Student, ng Anak Bayan, ng Kabataan Party List, at kahit yung Northern Samar Small Farmers Association ay naglabas ng statement na palayain kaming tatlo na nahuli sa Las Navas. We were tagged as Las Navas 3. At kasabay nun ay ilang araw ay meron na ring nadakip na Palawan 7 na pinagsama sa isang statement ng Student Christian Movement of the Philippines na dapat nga raw po kaming palayain. So, itong ginagawa namin, itong ginagawa ng Makabayan Bloc, itong ginagawa ng mga legal front organizations ng Communist Party of the Philippines ay hindi na bago at paulit-ulit pa rin nilang gagawin at paulit-ulit nilang ipapakita sa mamamayan na sila ay sumusuporta doon sa laban nung mga aktivista nung mga sasabing aktivista at binabanggit na aktivista lang. Pero sa kadahilanan, kung bakit ba nila ito pinoprotektahan, dahil hindi na sila makakapag-train pa ng bagong mga kadre at hindi sila makakapag-train pa ng mas may kalidad na mga kadre mula sa Communist Party of the Philippines, katulad nitong mga nahuli na to. Ito yung mga rason kung bakit yung mga underground mass organizations, tulad na lamang ng Lumaban, at na underground mass organization ng National Union of People's Lawyer ay pinagtatanggol itong mga nahuli dahil ito ay mga kadre ng partido. Ito ay makinarya ng Communist Party of the Philippines at ng New People's Army.
Is Eric already available? Right, so what we were seeing earlier, so kasi na-share din ni kasamang Nads, is we are totally knowledgeable. Alam namin yung ganitong mga kalakaran kasi diyan kami nanggaling. Hindi naman kami naging simpleng miyembro lang ng Anak Bayan o ng LFS o LFS. Hindi lang kami simpleng miyembro lang ng Kabataang Makabayan. We were really members, and not just members, we were really cadres of our respective Communist Party of the Philippines units. So si Nads was operating in Eastern Visayas. I was also operating before in Panay, Zamboanga, and in Davao region. And it's always our program of the Communist Party of the Philippines na whenever one of our comrades are being attacked legally or extrajudicially, etc., talagang may paraan yan. That's why yung CPP, binuo ng CPP, yung organization, underground organization ng mga lawyers, which is yung lupon ng mga manananggol para sa bayan o yung Lumaban, para may specific or may special organization ng Communist Party of the Philippines to look into different laws of our government kung saan pwedeng makabenefit or ma-exploit ng Communist Party of the Philippines, at saka yung sa mga batas naman na hindi beneficial para sa CPP ay talagang lantarang inaatake. Like what happened right now na malaking sampal at malaking sugat sa CPP yung pagkakahuli ng pitong kadre ng MMRPC sa Metro Manila, ay talagang hindi na kami nagtataka bakit inaatake ng CPP at saka ng mga legal fronts nito yung pag-i-issue ng search and arrest warrants against pag-i-issue ni Judge Ceciline Velabert dun sa search and arrest warrant dun sa pitong mga kiniklaim nga nila ng mga aktivista. Well, in fact, these activists, quote-unquote, are indeed cadres of the Metro Manila Regional Party Committee. Kaya ganun na lang talaga sila kagigil na equation kahit yung pag-determine ng probable cause na hindi naman sana trabaho ng legislative body of ng ating gobyerno. That's already a job of the judiciary. So why are they questioning such expertise? Hindi naman yan isang araw lang nag-aral yung mga mga huwis natin. They've been working to become experts of our judicial system. They've been studying lots and lots of things bago mag-issue ng any arrest or search warrants, because our judiciary has high confidence that they are indeed able to determine probable cause before issuing any warrant of arrest or search warrant. So talagang lantaran lang talagang inaatake. ng Communist Party of the Philippines and of course this Communist Front na Makabayan Bloc para ipalabas kung gaano daw ka-unjust yung ating system of the government. Well, in fact, ito yung mga para-paraan lang talaga para ma-pressure yung government. At the same time, yung demand nila na palayain no yung mga naaresto ng mga kadre ng mga CPP, NP, NDF. And this is nothing new to us. Dahil yun na nga, before this, there have been lots of cases wherein the legal front organization of the Communist Party of the Philippines are really using different Philippine laws para lusutan at saka ipalabas na parang may substantial statement sila na palayain yung mga inaaresto na totoo naman na talaga ng mga kadre ng CPP, NP, NDF. So, yun po. Also joining right now sa atin would be Ka Eric. He'll be joining us over a phone patch.
Such a dishonest way, especially coming from a lawyer like Sarate himself, to actually encroach upon which belongs to the competence of the Supreme Court. Third is that we have to understand that they have a lot of legal remedies. They can file motion to quash once the case is filed. They can this case will also go for preliminary investigation. Aside from the determination of Judge Villarbert for the issuance for the finding probable cause of the issuance of the search warrant, pagpupunta naman yan sa regular trial, sa trial on the merits, they can also file any other pleadings that could actually exculpate them. Magkakaroon ng judicial determination of probable cause. They can file that. But the thing is that they do not want to do that. They don't want to put their words under oath. Yung ginagawa ng mga yan, palagi na lang is preskon ng preskon, kahit anong sasabihin, kahit anong pagsisinungaling, what lies they are going to spout, but doesn't really matter to them because these people have no sense of integrity and honesty, especially the Makabayan Bloc, led by the CPP in-pay speaker, sa House of Congress, si Congressman Sarati na walang ginawa kundi magsinungaling, sirain ang ating institution, no? But look at them, when there are cases that they file against before the Supreme Court and other judicial process at nananalo sila, no? They proclaim it, no, as their victory. Pero once na natalo sila, yan ang ginawa nila to discredit the judge, to discredit our system, because that is what they are made for. They are there in order to listen confidence to our government. They are there to malign and discredit our judicial processes. Yan po yung ginagawa ng Makabayan Black. That is what they are there for. That is their mantra in order coming from the CPP, NPA, NDF. Another one is when they filed the cases of writ of amparo against the president and Yusik Lorraine and other members of the Philippine Army, our chief of staff, and our armed forces. Nung natalo po sila sa Supreme Court, sa Court of Appeals, they actually maligned the Court of Appeals. And yet, when they were questioned, bakit natalo kayo? They said that, you know what, we are still under the Supreme Court, saying that we are still under the judicial process. So what they do is that they are, which just simply shows that they have no lack of character, they have penchant for lying, they are good in lying, and they don't care if they are lying. They don't care if the people know that they are lying. Yan po talagang ginagawa ng Makabayan Black, the 7 congressmen who are supposed to be the protector of human rights, but in fact are the one who are protecting the violators of human rights. Back to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Attorney Busantog. That was very good. Right now, we are going to go with a phone patch with Ka Eric Almendras, also whose real name is Jeffrey Celis. And are we ready? Okay. As you can see, based on sa mga sinabi ng ating mga speakers at this moment, as of this time, is this has been done for many, many years. It has always been happening this way. Lagi na lang, pag mayroong mangyayari, lagi ang gobyerno may kasalanan. May namatay, gobyerno pumatay. Merong nakasuhan, planted yan. It's always been like that. It's always been like that. That's what we're trying to say right now, is that there's actually no basis for their statements. They're just trying to make a lot of noise para lang pagmukhang masama ang gobyerno ulit. So it's been going on since the time of Marcos, since the time that they established themselves, and sad to say, it's still happening up to now. And it's up to us, this generation and the next one, to believe what is really the truth. It's the time for us to think about, are we just being manipulated? So think about it, guys. We're just waiting for Sir Eric to be online. Ikaw, Mika, what do you think?
Yes, I agree with you, Sir Jimmy, na for a long time we've been deceived. And I tried to ask myself, bakit kaya maraming kabataan gaya ko na naloloko? Bakit kaya maraming kabataan na kagaya ko na nadadala sa mga panglulokong ito ng mga komunistang grupo? And maybe because masyado nga tayong naging idealistic that we wanted change to happen agad-agad. We wanted change to happen right now, that we forgot na yung change na yon nakadepend yun sa atin, na hindi natin siya dapat dinedepend lang sa government, na it should start with us. And also, importante na kilala, like I've said earlier, importante po na kilala natin yung mga kalaban natin. Alam natin kung ano ba tong NPA, ano ba to yung goal nila. Kasi the moment na malaman natin kung ano ba talaga yung agenda nila, ano yung goal nila, mas mapapadali tayo sa pag-bring down sa kanila. Like now, during conversations with friends, na-realize namin na mostly ng mga front ng mga NPA ay mga kabataan. So why not gather group of youth na ipakita kung ano yung totoo, kung ano yung kung ano yung nakikita natin sa government. Kasi meron silang grupo ng kabataan na pinapalagan o nagreklamo na hindi ito ginagawa ng pamahalaan, na hindi ito binibigay sa amin ng gobyerno. But kami naman, on the other side, grupo din kami ng kabataan na nakikita yung totoo. And we are very much willing to share it to other people. And na-realize ko din po kung gaano ka-importante yung communication, yung information na ma-send out sa mga tao. Yun lang din po yung kulang sa kanila eh. And it's very wonderful na na-establish na rin natin itong NTF-ELCAC dahil nakikilala na tayo, nalalaman na nila yung goal natin, nagkakaroon na din sila ng information, ng idea kung ano nga ba talaga yung nangyayari sa loob ng mga kilusan ng komunistang grupo, which is why I guess pag nagpatuloy ito, it's really not impossible for us to bring down the enemy.
Attorney Marlon, are you still there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm
Attorney
still here.
Marlon?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What do you think po? What do you think po should we do at this particular point in time? How to stop such harassment from the Macbayan bloc?
Hello. Yes.
And what can we do legally?
I think we should also countercharge for me because this statement actually erode the confidence of the public to the judicial system, and that Attorney Sarati took an oath to defend our judicial system, and that for us to adhere to the rule of law, being himself a lawyer. So I think that this is a question where the Office of the Bar Confidant can actually take cognizance of, especially that Attorney Sarate is also a paid government employee, being a legislative, being a congressman. That probably for me is one of the recourse for us in order for them to stop. And also for us to finally put an end to how they perceive themselves as protectors of human rights, but in fact are the people who are actually destroying our judicial system. So why not file a case of disqualification against them before the COMELEC so that we can put an end to their bullying, scare tactics that they actually do to our public employees, especially if our public employees perform their duties and the decisions are adverse to this to them and their countries. Maganda po yung sinasabi noon ni Secretary Lorenzana and other officials for the government to actually file a disqualification case, because we have a lot of evidence at this point. So I think it's one of the avenues that the NTF-ELCAC should look into, para we should remove these cancers of the government from our system.
Thank you very much, Attorney. That's a bit clear for me, for a layman. And I think we are ready for Eric. Are we ready? Oh, we're having some signal problems with getting in touch with Eric right now. Just so everybody's clear about what's happening right now here at the press conference is that due to technical difficulties, we cannot include here in the Zoom room the live coverage from the PIA. So every time we're going to switch to the PIA, I have to, for the Zoom people, I have to switch to our streaming video that we have, which is being telecast over the Facebook account of ELCAC. So for people right now here who have questions, you can ask them now. And I will relay the question to our panelists here at the PIA. Wala po. So maybe we can go to okay. Right now, we have a few guests here in the Zoom room. Maybe you can voice out whatever it is that you want to voice out. And let's have a little discussion while waiting for the other speakers to be able to join us in this particular press con. Anyone from the PIA? The regional directors want to say something? Sir Julius?
Good afternoon. Pwede po pagtanong?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, please.
From Radyo Pilipinas po, Julius Gonzales.
Yes, sir.
So tanong ko lang po, ano pong ginagawang hakbang ng pamahalaan para mapigilan ang recruitment ng mga NPA sa mga universidad?
Ulit po, sir.
Narinig
Ulit
po ba? Ano po ang ginagawang
Naputol po
hakbang
ng
ng...
konti.
Okay. At tanong ko lang po, ano po ginagawang hakbang ng pamahalaan para mapigilan ang recruitment ng mga CPA-NPA sa mga universidad? Recruitment sa mga universidad. Paano po mapigilan?
Apo. Director MJ Chico, maybe you would like to answer that particular question. Sir MJ Chico, he's the Deputy Director of the Stratcom Secretariat. Welcome,
Yes, sir. Maganda po yung tanong ni Sir
Yes,
Julius, no? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Actually, right now with the NTI PELCAC, we're still coordinating with different government agencies for us to be able to craft appropriate approaches and concepts in preventing the recruitment of CPP and PANDF sa student sector. Likewise, naghanap po tayo ngayon ng multi-sector approach para at least mas marami po tayong magtulong-tulong na ma-prevent po yung recruitment na ginagawa ng CPP and PANDF sa eskwelahan. Alam po natin na deceptive po yung recruitment, hindi po alam ng mga kabataang estudyante na yung po mga grupong nasasalihan nila ay mga recruiter ng CPP and PANDF. But with the help of ng ating mga advocacy groups like the Hands of Our Children Movement, yung ating LPP, yung ating KKDAT, in partnership with these advocacy groups, our effort po right now is to spread the awareness. So kaya nga po very active po tayo sa ating pong social media campaign to inform our Filipino youth and their parents tungkol po dito sa deceptive recruitment. Na-highlight po ito last year during the Senate inquiry with Senator Bato de la Rosa tungkol sa Senate inquiry on the missing children. So with that awareness po na napakalat natin, mas nahihirapan na po ngayon makapag-recruit yung CPP and PANDF sa mga eskwelahan. Pero still, dahil yung kanilang pong recruitment scheme, matagal nilang ginagawa yun, medyo talagang very effective yung kanilang agitation propaganda. So yun po yung kina-counter natin ngayon. And maybe po, with this coming 2021, ma-implement na po natin yung mga konsepto na ina-adapt natin in partnership with the different government agencies, spearheaded by the National Youth Council and from CHED and DepEd, siguro po mas magiging effective yung ating pong prevention effort. Maraming salamat po for raising that questions kasi talaga na pong napapanahon na po talaga para matigil lang recruitment ng CPP and PANDF sa ating pong mga estudyante. Thank you po.
Sir, may I add on that?
Salamat. Thank you.
Thank you very much po, Sir MJ. Very, very nice po.
Sir, may I add on that answer by
Yes, sir.
Director MJ? Yes, I want to add this personal experience because it has something to do with Colonel MJ. When we went to Tacloban, I think last year for the filing of cases against 5 activists, they are called the Tacloban 5. I was surprised to learn that 5 of them are belongs to the youth, mga 19, 20, 21. And that we are filing case of explosives and these cases that are illegal possession of firearms that are non-bailable, and they were apprehended in a known Bayan Muna, I think Bayan Muna safe house with a known NPA recruiter. So the question is, what are we doing? Bakit hindi na lang natin pagdadamputin ang mga to? Kilala naman natin mga recruiters because it is not as easy as it looks. Nang nagpa-file kami ni Colonel MJ ng kaso noon, andun sina Nery Colmenares, sina Ferdinand Gaitiat, andun sila sa kabila sa UP Visayas mismo or UP Tacloban mismo, and they are using these facts of arrest to agitate the students. also after that, they actually used the fact of this arrest in order to magkaroon ng donation campaign, international and national. So what they did was demonetize this particular fact of arrest, and actually they use it to agitate more victims. Kaya nang nag-file tayo ng kaso sa Department of Justice, we want to look at these kids that are being recruited as victims. No, they had been radicalized, they had been brainwashed. The theory of the legal cooperation cluster is that they are victims. So at this point in time, we have to be very careful in filing cases, because what we want is not to put these children or this youth behind bars. What we want is to save them from radicalization. So instead of creating more victims, no, we should spread more awareness. As Colonel MG had said, that the Stratcom should be stronger in putting this information out there on the duplicity of the Makabayan Black in their organizations, the legal fronts of the CPP-NPA, what they do, no, their modus operandi, the arouse, organize, mobilize kind of tactic. Furthermore, is that we understand that this kind of tactic is not also endemic to the Philippines. Actually, this form of tactic has been the subject of a study by the United Nations. And it was mentioned there, no, yung parang ginagawa mismo ng CPP, NPA, NDF na tinatarget talaga nilang mga eskwelahan. Kasi at that particular age, pwede pa nilang mamobilize yung mga estudyante. They can actually dictate their philosophies, no, their activism. They can actually infiltrate the kind of activism that the youth has. So yun yung gusto nilang exploit, at yun yung gusto nating pigilan. So it's not as easy just simply filing cases. What we want right now, no, as the NTF LCAC moves forward, is the infusion of knowledge, is the infusion of the duplicity of the CPP, NPA, NDF. Now they are not actually purveyors of human rights. They're actually the one, or actually the violators thereof, at wala silang pakialam if their victims are 13, 14, 15 years old. Because I was able to interview yung mga nakukuha nila na mga sparrow nila as early as 13 years old, 14 years old, but they don't care. During the time of pandemic alone, no, in the place of Caraga, in Region 13, more than 20 indigenous people were killed by the CPP-NPA. Their eyes were gouged, no, they were beheaded, they were killed right or shot in front of their children. But do we hear the CPP-NPA, NDF, the Makabayan Black, crying about human rights violation? No, you do not hear them, because actually, as they admitted in the Senate, they are not our enemies. No, so that probably is one of the way to answer that question. We have to be very circumspect in filing cases or moving forward. At least we create another victim out of our actions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Attorney Marlon.
Sir Jimmy, meron pong question mula sa ating Facebook.
Yes, please.
Facebook audience. This is a wonderful question. She is asking, gaano kalaki ang natulong ng pagkaka-establish ng NTF-ELCAC sa ating laban kontra sa mga komunistang grupo?
Okay.
Sino po ang pwedeng makasagot ng tanong na ito? Gaano kalaki ang natulong ng pagkaka-establish ng NTF-ELCAC sa ating laban kontra sa mga komunistang grupo?
Sir Jimmy?
Sir, si Director MJ yan. Sila yung may hawak ng information.
Napakaganda po nung tanong, no? Kung ano po yung naitutulong ng NTF-ELCAC. Actually po, napakalaki. Because ito pong konsepto na to, ito po ay nabuo sa resulta ng pag-aaral ng mga different approaches that our national government has crafted in the past. The different campaigns since tayo pa po ni Presidente Marcos. And during those times po, sa pinag-aralan po yung mga kampanya na yun, ano pong nangyari, bakit despite the different campaigns launched by the government against the CPP, NPA, NDF, nakasurvive pa rin po sila. Tumagal po tayo na 5 dekada, buhay pa po sila. Nakita po ron na ang resulta po ng pag-aaral na sinagawa, meron pong kakulangan ng ating mga government agencies to harmonize and synchronize our effort towards eliminating the CPP, NPA, NDF. At doon nga po sa Executive Order po, number 17 ng ating Pangulo, na pinakita po dito na magkaroon po ng isang approach na nakabase po sa isang tinatawag natin ng whole of nation approach under the platform po ng good governance. This is to shift from a purely militaristic approach nung araw. Kasi po nung araw, Lone Ranger lang po ang AFP. Panahon pa ni Marcos, AFP po ang ginamit. Panahon po ni Presidente Cory, AFP din ang ginamit. Hanggang sa ano po, AFP lang nakikipaka laban sa CPP and PNDF. And acceptable din naman po ng AFP natin that the AFP alone will not and cannot be able to solve the problem of Maoist communist insurgency sa bansa natin. Dahil po yung pong problema, yung mga root causes, yung mga factors affecting the insurgency problem, hindi naman po pwedeng isolve ng purely militaristic approach solution lang. Kaya nga po hindi po kaya ng AFP. Yun po yung nakita doon. Kaya dito po sa EU70, bumuo na isang approach na hindi na po tayo military centric but more on civilian led na po ito. Kaya nga sa approach na po ito, nagkaroon po tayo ng 12 lines of efforts o 12 tinatawag natin pong clusters, which is yung cluster po, every cluster is composed ng different government agency para i-address po yung iba't ibang factors affecting the communist insurgency. For example po, meron po tayong poverty reduction, livelihood and employment cluster, na ang lead agency po niya na yung ating TESDA. Ito pong grupo na to, sila po yung pupunta sa mga conflict affected and sa mga geographically isolated and disadvantaged communities sa ating pong kalayunan, at sila po yung nag-a-address sa mga socio-economic and cultural concerns. Para doon po, makita po natin doon na masolusyonan po yung mga problemang matagal lang dinaranas ng ating mga kababayan. Kasi ang nangyayari po, nung araw, sundalo lang po ang pupunta sa mga interior na barangay, sa mga hinterland communities. So, pag andun po yung sundalo natin, umaalis po yung armado. Pero pag alis po ng sundalo natin, yung po mga issues, socio-economic issues sa barangay, na hindi naman po kayang bigyan ng solusyon ng ating mga kasundaluhan lang, pag alis po ng sundalo, babalik lang po yung NPA, yung to po mga issue na to sa barangay, para po ito mga tuyong dayami. Na pagbalik po ng CPP and PNDF, andun pa rin po yung tuyong dayami, kikiskisin na po na ng konti, maglalagablab na naman, sisindi na naman, so magkakaroon po tayo ng problema sa barangay. So yung po yung ating pong sa EU70, nakita na po yung problema na yan, kaya po naging never-ending yung problema. Kaya yan po ating tinututukan ngayon. Meron po tayong programa tinatawag yung Barangay Development Package. Ito pong Barangay Development Package na to, ito po yung tututok sa mga issues sa barangay. Kaya po ng Farm to Market Road, kasi marami pa rin po tayong barangay ngayon talaga, ang medyo wala pong kalsada. So doon po, matagal na pong neglected ng ating gobyerno yan, at nagpapasalamat po tayo sa leadership po ng ating pong presidente sa kanyang political will to finally put an end to this local communist armed conflict, na yung po mga issue na yan, na mga potent issue, mga primary issues na talagang ginagamit po ng CPP and PNDF to agitate our people, i-address na po natin ngayon yan with the Barangay Development Package. So that is over and above po sa naunang effort na ginagawa na ng mga different clusters po natin. Meron din po tayong basic services cluster na nagbibigay po ng mga basic services sa ating po mga kalayunan. Meron din po tayong local government empowerment cluster na nagde-develop po sa ating po mga local government to capacitate them to become an institutions talaga na masasandigan ng ating mga kababayan. So marami po tayong mga programa, at isa na po masasabi namin ngayon na with political will po ng ating pong presidente, nakikita naman po natin talaga na on their toes po yung ating po mga different government agencies in delivering the basic services na kinakailangan po ng mga mamamayan natin, particularly po sa mga conflict affected and geographically isolated and disadvantaged areas. So, ang sa atin lang po, ito po ay full operation approach. We are inviting each and everyone po to help us, participate with us, join us in our quest po na matulungan yung ating mga kababayan at makamit po natin yung kapayapaan na matagal na po natin minimiti. So, maraming salamat po.
Thank you very much po, Sir MJ. And now, we will go back to Kaamihan. Please.
Sally is also known as Ka Eric.
kasama at mga kaibigan na dumating o dumalo po sa ating biglaang pagpapatawag po ng media briefing sa gabi nito. Ngayon lang po at ibig ko namin ipaabot sa mga taga-pakinig at taga-subaybay ng ganitong media briefing. Malinaw pong paninindigan ng sambayanan o ng Sentrong Alyansa ng Mamamayan para sa Bayan. Ang ating pong paninindigan, kinukundina natin itong political terrorism, harassment, intimidation na ginagawa ng CPP, NPA, NBS sa pamamagitan po ng paggamit nila ng mga background open organizations na nagiging maskara at conduit nila sa pagsasagawa nitong political terrorism, harassment and intimidation laban kay Quezon City Regional Trial Court Judge Villabert. Malinaw po na ito'y pakikialam at pananakot sa integrity ng judicial process. Ito po ang resolusyon ng CPP Party List Group ay malinaw din po na hindi lamang pakikialam kung hindi ito po'y pananagupahe sa integrity ng ating judicial process, kung kaya po kailangan itong kondinahin at ipapigil at labanan ng buong mamamayan at ng buong judikatura. On this regard, we are calling on the Association of Judges of the Philippines, the Integrated Bar of the Philippines, and the National Prosecutor Service and the Department of Justice ng ating bansa na dapat po magsama-sama tayo sa pagdepensa kay Judge Villabert. Kasama na po ang panawagan sa Supreme Court na manatili po ang kanilang tatag at linaw ng paninindigan laban po sa maniobra pananagupahe ng CPP, NPA, NDF para po mapatigil ang effective law enforcement sa ating bayan and mapatigil nila ang paninindigan at makapapang ng mga judges sa ating judiciary system. At malinaw na ang ginagawa nilang mga atake, panawagan at reklamo laban kay Judge Villabert ay bahagi ito ng tinatawag nilang hindi lamang political terrorism, kung hindi ang pag-cover up dito sa halos 7 na mga underground cadre at operators ng CPP, NPA, NDF na nag-ooperate sa buong Metro Manila. In fact, mga karamihan, and sa the rest na nakikinig ngayon, si Rodrigo Estarago, si Ka Erwin, si Ka Apa, si Red White ang tawag namin dyan, kapanahunan ko yan sa youth and student sector. Dating National Coordinator yan for NCR ng National Union of Students of the Philippines at naging bahagi ng LFS National Leadership. Ang kanyang asawa, ang unang asawa niya ay sila Linaban, na ngayon ay kadre din ng CPP sa National Organization Department. Galing yan sila sa Polytechnic University of the Philippines or PUP, at yan ay mga matagal ng underground operatives ng Communist Party of the Philippines na nag-oorganisa ng kabataang makabayan, nagre-recruit ng NPA sa mga kabataan sa iba't ibang universidad at kolehiyo ng Metro Manila. I know him personally. I can identify him kung kailan kami nagkita saan sa meeting ng LFS National Assembly in Congress sa Makiling, sa Laguna. Kasama kanina doon sa pagpupulong ang mga party cadre ng US students sa iba't ibang rehiyon. Ang cover nun ng LFS sa Congress. I think Congress yun noong 1996 or 1997 sa Laguna. And then nakasama ko sa ulit ang nasa FPA na ako. He's representing already the Regional Youth Police Bureau ng NCR. At ako naman ay nasa N2 NOC na ng NPA. Nagkita kami sa Baguio City sometime around 2005. So malinaw po na ang mga grupong ito ay hindi ito mga ordinaryong aktivista dahil ito ay mga miyembro ng Komiteng Tagapagpaganap o EXTICOM ng Metro Manila Regional Party Committee ng Communist Party of the Philippines. Tama lamang ang desisyon ni Judge Villabert na mag-issue ng warrant of arrest laban po ng personalidad na ito, at kailangan po natin iparating ng ganitong mga panawagan kung kaya ang sambayanan kasama sila Kamian, Katsansyan at iba pa mga kadre nationwide ay naglalabas po kami ng solidarity statement and solidarity declaration in favor for the call to support and rally behind sa katapangan at tamang desisyon ni Judge Villabert at ng mga kapareho niya. And lastly po, I cannot stay longer dahil medyo mapuputol po yung linya sa area ko dahil sa intermittent signal ko. Lastly po, gusto namin ipaabot na dapat po proteksyonan ng Supreme Court si Judge Gilbert dahil po nung nakaraang buwan, inambos po ng believed to be mga New People's Army operative ang isang judge sa Sorsogon na namatay dahil po sa kanyang paniniwala sa pagpatupad ng judicial process na pag-i-issue ng mga search warrant laban sa mga underground operatives sa area ng Bicol. After 1 month po na na-issue ito, lumabas po siya at natiningan siya ng NPA. At ang investigation ng PNP related ito sa mga serving of search warrant laban sa kanila. Kung kaya po, ipinapalawagan po natin na dapat matigil po itong pakikialam, pananabotahe at mga atake na ginagawa ng CPP Party List Group na mga makabayan party nila, ang grupo nila Karapatan at ang grupong mga naniniwala sa pagtatanggol sa interes ng CPP, NPA, NDF by harassing, by intimidating, and conducting political terrorism against the judicial personalities like Judge Gilbert. Dapat labanan po natin ito at mapatigil na upang ma-maintain po natin ang integrity ng ating judicial process at mapalakas natin ang law enforcement and legal capacity ng ating gobyerno. Laban po sa iba't ibang pamamaraan ng pananabotahe at infiltration ng CPP, NPA, NDF. Maraming salamat po at thank you sa mga kasama ko sa kadri team at ng sambayanan dyan sa atin sa media briefing natin. At sana po, may paabot namin ng ito sa kapuluan sa Kongreso na wag i-entertain itong basura na uri ng resolusyon na inihain ng CIP.
Alright, so narinig po natin ang National Coordinator ng Sentrong Alyansa ng mga Mamamayan para sa Bayan. And he made, Eric made a very good point, no, regarding dun sa Judge Gilbert is just doing her job as part of the judiciary. Nakakatawa nga lang isipin kasi in the past few months, these communist fronts of the Communist Party of the Philippines have been challenging the government to file appropriate judicial action, file a suit against them who were, sabi nga nila, nire-red tag o nililabel as terrorists and member of the Communist Party. Ngayon, ginagawa na ng gobyerno ang tamang paraan to file for a suit, judicial process, pag-issue ng mga warrants. I mean, what I'm trying to say is, ginagawa na ng government yung judicial process na sinasabi nila before, na challenge na sa government, hindi lang simpleng orchestra of publicity and tagging them as members of the Communist Party. Ngayon kinokondemn din nila na at this point, the government is following the due process and the judicial process of the judiciary. So, we can really look into a trend of these communist fronts. Mula pa nung natatag yung Communist Party in 1969, they've been condemning the Marcos administration. They've been condemning the Cory Aquino administration kay President Ramos, kay President Estrada, kay President Arroyo, then kay President Benigno Aquino, and then right now, President Duterte. So, sinong presidente ba yung hindi kinondena ng Communist Party of the Philippines? So, malinaw sa Communist Party of the Philippines yung role nila sa ating lipunan. Their ultimate role in the society is to destroy the government. First, they attack the government. Second, they agitate and radicalize the people na mag-alsa laban sa gobyerno. And we can see here at this point, after all, what these personalities of the Makabayan Bloc have been doing is they are just doing their jobs as communist fronts. As what we have said, title ng aming statement is the Makabayan Solons are communist liars. And they really are communist liars. Kasi that's the best character a communist can have, being a member of the Communist Party of the Philippines, to lie, deceive the people with all the lies. And I believe si kasamang Nads ay may i-share din na experience niya rin nung siya ay nakulong sa Samar.
Yes. Totoo yung binabanggit ni Kaamihan, no? Kasi sa mahabang panahon, lagi ay maraming isyong ibinabato yung Makabayan Bloc, lalong-lalo na sa aming mga nahuli. Napakaraming binabanggit na kami daw po ay mga tinatamnan lang, planted lang yung mga dinadala namin baril. Specifically sa akin, binabanggit nila, maliban sa binabanggit nilang researcher lang ako, ay binanggit din nila na mga planted yung mga ng Kabataan Party List, ng Makabayan Bloc in general, at yung mga affiliated organizations ito, na binabanggit na mga planted lang yung mga baril na mga nung hinuli kami. Pero in fact, ako mismo yung nahuli, ako mismo yung nakulong, ay nagpapatotoo na hindi planted o hindi lang gawa-gawang kaso yung mga isinasampa sa amin, hindi lang tinaniman kami nung baril ng granada doon sa site kung saan kami nakita. So yun yung mga bagay na ilang mga patotoo doon sa pagpapasinungaling ng Kabataan Party List ng Makabayan Bloc doon sa mga nahuhuli ng mga CPP cadres nung CPP, NPA, and NDF. Siguro yung isa pa nga dyan, na-mention yung Tacloban 5. So personally, ako dahil nanggaling mismo ako sa Eastern Visayas, kilala ko itong mga ARWAC 5, yung mas magandang tawag sa kanila, bilang sila ay mga kaparte ng Regional White Area Committee ng Eastern Visayas Regional Party Committee, na kung saan, ay itong mga nahuli mismo mula doon sa Tacloban 5, tama yung binabanggit na sila ay ginagamit ng mga propaganda material nitong mga legal front organization para agitate ng mga kabataan ng mga mamamayan sa Eastern Visayas para sumapi doon sa armed struggle o maging makapag-ambag doon sa armadong paikibaka na isinusulong nila. Sino nga ba itong mga Regional White Area Committee 5? Sila lang naman yung mga kasama namin ng Regional Guerrilla Unit. Hindi lang siya basta sub-regional or provincial, hindi lang siya basta front, kundi yung nagsesecure sa kanila nung nagmi-meeting sila for the white area activities ay mga regional guerrilla unit mismo ng Eastern Visayas, ng Eastern Visayas Regional Party Committee at ng command ng New People's Army sa Eastern Visayas. So, ganon sila kabibigat na mga personahe. And in fact, nakasama ko pa sila sa mga meetings. For example, si Chacoy, si alias Chacoy o si Alexander Abinguna at si Frenchie May Cumpio. Nakasama ko pa sila sa meeting sa Northern Samar, sa Katarman Northern Samar, para sa ilang bahagi o pagpaplano doon sa ilang bahagi na gagawin sa activities na gagawin sa Katarman. And nakasama ko sila talaga na nagdala sila ng baril sa kabundukan ng Sagod, Barangay Sagod, Las Navas, Northern Samar. So, na-mention din siya actually ni Representative, Kabataan Party List Representative Sara Ilago, na yung Tacloban 5 ay mga biktima nga daw po nung red tagging at biktima daw po ng mga extrajudicial na pagkahuli. At sa katotohanan ay sino nga pa po ba yung tumatayong abogado nitong Tacloban 5? Si Nery Colmenares himself, yung tumatayong abogado ng Tacloban 5 na talagang nagde-defend dito sa mga legal front organization sa region. So, klaradong-klarado at malinaw sa atin na kung sino yung dumidepensa doon sa mga nahuhuli at sino yung mga nagde-defend doon sa mga nahuli ng mga na bigyan ng warrant of arrest ay sila din mismo yung mga kasama o kagrupo nitong mga to at kakolektibo pa sa Communist Party of the Philippines.
That's why sometimes we call them as terrorist defenders, because they defend terrorists and they do not defend the people. Anyways, we're back to entertaining further questions from our viewers and from our for the press who are nanito ngayon. I believe our very own Undersecretary Lorraine Badoy has one question as well.
Medyo mahaba. Kasi gusto ko lang malaman kasi tuwing nakikita namin yung ginagawa nila, honestly nakakatawa. Kasi what's the word for it? Bopols, parang gano'n. Parang hindi nag-iisip. Ito katulad kanyari ni Sunny Africa, 'di ba? Executive Director ng IBON. Therefore, CPP, NPA, NDF, 'di ba? High ranking siya. He's a London School of Economics graduate, PSI, etc., etc., di ba? Pero, and yet, ang sinabi niya, ang 52-year insurgency has no effect on the economy, at saka yung walang insignificant sa poverty. Tapos kunyari yung inihain na mga kaso sa amin ng karapatan na prente din, 'di ba? Yan sila Tina Palabay ay high ranking din na CPP, 'di ba? So, pero iniisip ano bang sinabi niya may nilabag kami nila Secretary Esperon na international humanitarian law non-combatants kami. Paano na yan? Parang hindi na nag-iisip. Tapos yung pupunta sa ombudsman for red tagging daw. Wala naman public funds. Paano naging ombudsman yun? Di ba? Parang ang baba ng kalidad. Pati makikita mo ito sila Carlos Zarate. Di ba parang wala nang kahihiyan yung sa pagkababa ng kalidad nila na nasa kongreso sila. Pero hindi nila alam yung umaapak na sila sa judiciary. So my question is, ano bang kalidad ng mga to? Hindi ba nag-iisip tong mga to? Hindi ba uso mag-isip sa CPP, NPA, NDF? Kailangan na sumunod sila sa kung anong sinabi ng kolektiba or ni Joma Sison? Kasi ang bopols na masyado eh.
Thank you po. Siguro pwede nating tagpi-tagpiin talaga yung mga scenarios na sinabi ni Yusik Badoy from the pronouncement of Sunny Africa about the insurgency not having any contribution to the poverty in the Philippines, hanggang dun sa iba't ibang mga hakbang na ginagawa ng Makabayan Bloc and other legal front organizations. What we actually are doing before, nung nandun kami sa loob ng Kilusan, is we do everything we can, kahit pagsisinungaling, kahit nakabupolan, kahit na alam ng medyo huling-huli na yung galawan, for as long as we can defend our ranks, our members, our leaders. So we do everything for the sake of saving our comrades. And of course, this is always a battle of propaganda. So they will do everything they can for them to propagate their communist ideologies dun sa mga tao. And of course, if we notice what they have been doing in the past, sa mga nakalipas na mga buwan, is they keep on attacking the government. Yeah. So kahit na may mga magagandang ginawa yung government ngayon, I will share siguro in a while yung mga sagot din kanina what the NTF-ELCAC has done in the past 2 years on my point of view as well. Siguro dapat din, yun kasi hindi na-recognize ng Makabayan eh. What they only see are the negatives of the government. And also, what they only do is for the benefit of the Communist Party of the Philippines. That's why kahit it's beyond the jurisdiction of a specific branch of the government, they will do everything for the sake of propaganda and for the sake of saving the CPP.
No, but the propaganda of other communist countries were very sharp, di ba? Mataas ang kalidad. Ito ang baba na. So in other words, what you're saying is, pwera pa sa sinungaling ka, dapat wala kang kahihiyan. Wala kang pride dapat, kahit mukha ka ng tanga. Ganon? Ganon ba yon?
Anything, ma'am, that could connect to the government na yung government yung parating i-blame ng Communist Party of the Philippines. For example, yung sinasabi ni Sunny Africa na walang connection yung insurgency doon sa kahirapan ng mga magsasaka. Well, in fact, kami mismo as members dati ng NPA, we can really see how we impact dun sa economic na status ng mga magsasaka. And I really believe na yung existence ng NPA sa community has a great role sa pagpapataas at pagpapabagsak ng economic na status ng mga tao. And that's a thing siguro Sunny Africa needs to go down to the grounds and to the roots. He needs to go to the countryside to witness himself ano yung status ng mga mahihirap ng mga magsasaka. And after all, Ms. Badoy, their role really is to condemn and to attack the government the best way they can. Even if it's the most stupid thing to do, they will do it.
Thank you.
Yes po. Do we have further questions?
Okay. Thank you very much po. We have a question para po kay Attorney Marlon sa LCC. I have a question po raw for Attorney Marlon. Attorney Marlon? Yes. Okay. Sir, ano raw po ang ginagawa ng LCC right now para po dito sa kaso na ito? Against po sa Makabayan Block.
Block. Number one is that we actually pioneered the filing of case against Gabriela. Why did we choose Gabriela? Because it seems that Gabriela for us represents one attack immediately what we believe is a strong point of the Makabayan, which is Gabriela. Considering that they are supposed to represent women's rights, so we filed a case against them, and lately the finding of and the question actually the participation of NTF-ELCAC, yung sinapalabay, in UPL na naman siguro yan, na the question why the government is filing a case against Gabriela to disqualify them in the party list registration of the Philippines. And the COMELEC actually ruled in favor of the NTF-ELCAC, saying that we have the legal personality to actually pursue these particular cases. It's one of the decisions that we had been waiting for, kasi every time that we appeared for the NTF-ELCAC, they always raise this particular questions. Same with what they did sa DOJ, the question, the participation of NTF-ELCAC. But with that particular ruling of the COMELEC, we can file successively the other cases. But hindi ko siguro masabi lahat in details the strategy of the LCC, but we have to do it strategically, no? Because the point here is that kahit ma-disqualify mo halimbawa ang Gabriela, but they could use it, no, to sell the agenda that we are suppressing dissent. They can sell the agenda that we are trying to go against the dissenters of the government. Then that's a losing proposition. So what we want is that when we go against them, we really go against them to put an end to the terrorist communist actions, no. So dapat strategic yung pagpunta natin. So we are trying to actually we had build cases against the other Makabayan Block sectors, sectoral representations, and rest assured that the LCC is not sleeping on its job, but we have to do it at the right time, no? Kung kailan dapat i-file yung mga cases na ito. We actually filed a case against Sara Ilago also, Nery Culminares, Anak Pawis, for kidnapping, serious illegal detention, violation of international humanitarian law, child abuse, no? We had been filing this case against them before the Department of Justice. It's pending right now. We had also filed cases against them during when they enslaved the children of the indigenous people sa UCCP Haran. Andun si yung spokesperson ng NPA, si Sarate. Andun siya sa UCCP Haran, no? But in fact, we have here teachers and students of the UCCP Haran saying that they actually learned how to do combat operations inside UCCP Haran. We have teachers itself, UCCP Haran, saying na nagtuturo kami ng communist ideology and how to combat or how to ambush troops of the government inside UCCP Haran. But si Sarate andun siya fighting for the non-closure of the UCCP Haran. Andun din si Sarate saka si Kulyamad doon sa kilometer 9 when the government is trying to close yung mga salugpungan schools, no? Yung mga indigenous people schools na tinatawag nila. But in fact, our schools of the CPP, NPA, andoon din si Sarate, no? Nandun siya na trying to fight against it, saying na ito ay mga schools ng indigenous peoples. And even si Congressman Kulyamad during the Senate hearing, during the congressional budget hearing, actually admitted na kami po yung nagtayo ng mga salugpungan schools, kami po yung nag-build niyan, kami po yung gumawa ng programa niyan. while in fact we have teachers itself, no, and students, graduates of the Salugpungan schools, na actually sinasabi na ito ay schools ng mga NPA. So these are the actions being undertaken by the LCC to collate all this information, in try to build the necessary and appropriate cases so that when we move forward, we do not only move forward as LCC, but we move forward as NTF LCAC. Hindi pwedeng nag-iisang gumagalaw ang LCC. It should be always in coordination, in synchronity with the movement of the NTF LCAC. Because at the end of the day, it's not about putting Sarati in jail. Hindi po yun yung objective ng NTF LCAC. It is to put end to the 53 years insurgency that's happening to our country that killed more than 60,000 people, no? Yung sinasabi po ni Sara Ilago na bumabalik na naman tayo sa martial law, ganyan-ganyan, ang daming po namamatay. The number of martial is around 4,000, no? That's an official figure. Sabi na 4,000 na po namatay sa martial law. But in fact, ang pinatay po ng CPP-NPA insurgency is more than 60,000, and that's a very conservative figure. Ay yung mga pinagsasabi ng mga taong yan, yung mga congressman na yan, I don't know. Let's take it with a grain of salt. Alam naman natin sinungaling ang mga yan eh.
Yes, thank you so much po, Attorney Marlon. That's right. Alam naman natin na lahat halos na lumalabas sa kanilang mga salita ay kasinungalingan. So, as the wiser people here, let us try to spread right information to other people nang sa ganun po ay hindi na sila ma-mislead at hindi na ganun kadali para sa mga kalaban na ma-recruit po yung iba sa ating mga kabataan at kapwa mamamayan. So to end our press conference, may we bring back the floor to Kaamihan.
Our last message to the Filipino people, to the public who are watching right now and will be watching this live feed on social media is, again, we would like to emphasize our message that these Communist Front organizations, especially the Makabayan Bloc, they are communist liars, and they are just like the underground leaders of the NPA and the Communist Party who are also lying, for them to just save themselves from the mula dun sa situation na talagang natatalo na yung Communist Party of the Philippines on a nationwide scale. So what are those lies and deception to wrap it all up? So nabanggit yung hinggil sa mga schools, and I can really relate to that because kami mismo sa NPA dun sa Combal yung nagtatayo ng mga lumad schools, particular the Salugpungan, Miss P Academy, and the RMP na mga scholars na pinapag-aral namin sa NPA. Second, yung tungkol sa mga legal organizations sa patuloy na tinatakpan ng Makabayan Bloc. Of course, another lies is yung crimes of the NPA na ayaw i-condemn ng Makabayan Bloc just because ito daw yung crimes ng NPA are just manifestations of the political dissent of the New People's Army and the Communist Party. And also the strength of the NPA. They keep on talking that they are still strong, but to be honest, doon mismo sa area na pinanggalingan ko, before I left the NPA in 2017, we had 8 platoons, but ngayon there's only 1 regular size platoon. And another thing to mention also, kasi very recent, yung kanina there was a press conference of the total surrender of Guerrilla Front 33 in Compostela Valley and in Davao de Oro and in Davao del Norte because of the efforts of the 25th Infantry Battalion together with the local government unit and the RTF 11 LCAC dun sa Davao region. Ito lang ay isang manifestation na talagang malaki yung nagiging ambag ng NTF LCAC dun sa tagumpay ng buong mamamayang Pilipino na tapusin na yung 52 years na insurgency sa Philippines. And this mass surrender of all remnants of the Guerrilla Front 33 na pinamumunuan mismo, yung pag-surrender ng mga NPA ay pinamumunuan mismo ng kanyang front secretary, si Commander Can. At hindi lang ito sa Davao de Oro, it also happened in Zamboanga na buong platoon din ng RHQ Calao ay nag-surrender din sa pamumuno rin ni Commander Piwi. And this is becoming a trend across the nation na yung mga NPA na pinamumunuan ng kanilang mga NPA commanders are already surrendering and getting back to the folds of the government. And this is the truth na hindi inaamin ng Communist Party of the Philippines. And so with the Makabayan Bloc on their continuous denial of the truth that they are communist fronts of the Communist Party of the Philippines. Again, to end this press conference, we would like to send our strongest message again and again na yung Makabayan Bloc are communist fronts of the Communist Party of the Philippines sa loob ng Kongreso, and we are calling for the resignation of the Makabayan Solons in Congress. And also for the 2022 election, we will really push sa side namin bilang mga dating kadre ng Communist Party na we have all the ideas what this Makabayan really is. We will push for the disqualification of Makabayan in 2022 election. And I believe, and I really believe that the Filipino people will support our advocacy and cause para tapusin na yung 52 years na panluloko at paninlang ng Communist Party of the Philippines and its front organization. Once again, this is Kaamihan from Sambayanan at magandang gabi po sa ating lahat. Mabuhay po.